Welcome to the Becoming a Streamer podcast by Pipeline, where we interview your favorite streamers and learn about their journey to where they are today. I'm your host and co-founder of Pipeline, Snoopy. I first came across Dwolf 2 years ago when I was working at Facebook. He'd only just started streaming and was still in school. Fast forward to today, he's no longer at school and is now a full-time streamer, closing in on 100,000 followers. I hope that as you listen, it motivates you, as it's only recently that he's been able to make his passion his career, and 2019 wasn't all smooth sailing for him. I'd love your thoughts on this episode, as it's not too long ago he was in a similar shoes to you, where it didn't seem like going full-time was an option. Let's dive in. Dwolf, I remember coming across you a couple of years ago when I was at Facebook. I was working there for a couple of years, and I super appreciate you coming on today. I think your story is going to resonate with a lot of the audience. So thanks for coming on, man.
Happy to be here.
Most of our guests on the podcast, they've been creating content online for many years. They might have a couple of million followers, and they've just been in the game a long time. But I'm really excited to chat with you because I feel like your journey is a little newer and fresher than some of our guests that we have on quite a lot. So before diving into your story and how you got there, I'd love if you could just share some insight on like what platforms are you on today?
Okay.
Your average concurrence and how much content you're creating, just to give them a gauge of kind of where you are right now.
Okay, so I'm currently streaming every single day on Facebook Gaming, /it's Dwolf. I kind of create a little bit of Instagram, a little bit of clips like that on Twitter and whatnot, but mainly streams every single day. And if I'm feeling really, really good, really, really motivated, I'll whip up a YouTube video or something like that, put that out on my YouTube channel. And same all across the board. It's Dwolf or it's _Dwolf on Instagram and Twitter. But yeah.
And you say every single day you're live 7 days a week?
Usually, yeah. Basically, my schedule is Monday through Friday, wake up at 6 a.m. This has been my schedule for like the last 2 weeks now. Prior to that, I was starting streaming at 8, but the last like 2 weeks, I've been waking up at 6 a.m., started going live at 7, stream till 12 or 1, depending on if I'm feeling really good. That extra hour, I'm going to keep streaming through that. And then start up again sometime in the afternoon. The morning is usually my longest stream. And then the afternoon, I'll just like mess around with like a single player game or just some random game. Tarkov. I just started playing Ark Survival Evolved last night. So that's a pretty fun experience.
Cool. So. How long have you been making content online now for?
So I started making YouTube videos in, November of 2017. I started making NBA 2K videos. I did that for a little while, and then Fortnite came out, and I started making YouTube videos on Fortnite here and there, but NBA 2K and Fortnite were kind of like my main two games up until I started streaming on Twitch in May or April of 2018. It was just really random, very, very sporadic. But I started on Facebook on May 3rd, and it's just been like, that's where I've been since. Yeah.
So 2018 was not that long ago. What kind of got you into content creation? I mean, I'm guessing like where you grew up, you didn't, your parents were probably not full-time streamers. I'm pretty sure that's not the case, but I'd be surprised if it wasn't. How did you, think that this is a career path that you could get into? Was that always the case, or like, what did you want to be when you grew up?
So I had no idea what I wanted to do with any sort of job or occupation or whatever when I was younger, or still, prior to streaming, I had no clue. But basically I'd always loved video games. Since I can remember, I've been playing them. I had a Game Boy, a GameCube, and Xbox, all the way up until playing PC now. And I think Call of Duty was like my main game way back in the day. I would always play with my friends, and we really got into watching like FaZe Clan and like sniper montages and stuff like that on Call of Duty.
And when's this? What age are you at this point when you're playing with your buddies? And
I want to make people feel old here, but I think when I was in 6th grade, which was, oh my God, I graduated in 2017. I'm not good at math, so I'm going to figure this out. Like 2011, 2012.
I gotta apologize. I really got. I don't know what 6th grade is.
I'm from 6th grade
because I'm from the UK. we
Oh,
don't
year
have sixth
six?
grade, so we've also got a bunch of European listeners. So
Oh,
what is sixth grade? So what
okay.
age are you at
So,
that point?
so, so in the US, you have kindergarten, which you start when you're 5.
Yeah.
And then you go from grade 1 or first grade or year 1 to 5th grade. And then you're in middle school from grade 6 to 8. And then you're in high school from 9th to 12th. And then, yeah, so it's just like based on the year that you're in school. So I was, what, 11 or 12 at this point, and Call of Duty was like the main game or whatever. And I just got in my Xbox 360. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 had came out, I think, like at some point during this time frame. I don't remember exactly. But yeah. Does that help? Does that help?
No, totally. I mean, so you're 11, 12, your buddies.
Yeah.
So I remember when I grew up, and I'm not that old either, right? But when I grew up, I didn't actually get, like, my buddies just weren't into games. Like, I didn't play with any of my local buddies. So were you playing with online buddies or like buddies at school?
So at this point, Xbox Live had been out for quite some time. So I would play with friends from school, or just like we would meet randoms online. It's just what we call random people on Xbox Live. But we would hop on every day after school and play basically all afternoon into the evening until someone had to go eat dinner or whatever. And we did this for like probably like 3 or 4 years straight. We had such a cool group of friends from school. Like there was I think there was like 6 or 7 of us, and every single day there was always 6 of us on. So we'd be running 6-man search and destroy on Call of Duty, or we'd be playing oh my gosh, on Black Ops 2 they had league play, which was like ranked, and you had 3 other teammates, and we would just grind that out every single day, and it was just so much fun. And it was I played a lot of games by myself when I was younger, like story games and like open world, like games like GTA 5, for example. But without a doubt, my favorite was playing Call of Duty with my buddies. It was so good.
That's super cool. I think a lot of people don't get that opportunity where all of their buddies locally are like in on it. Was your parents supportive? Like, how did they feel about you in 5 hours a night, every night at school? That's a lot.
Yeah. So if people don't know, I'm a very loud person. So I've definitely been yelled at for being too loud, yelling, raging, whatever. My parents definitely yelled at me once or twice. But I think it took me starting streaming for them to really understand video games. Like they got like, yeah, you're playing with your friends, you're yelling about winning a game or something like that. But I think it took streaming for them to really understand it. I think my dad still doesn't get it all that much, but he definitely understands it a lot more than back in the day.
Well, so when you were getting into YouTube, you said you're watching the FaZe guys online.
Yeah.
I'm guessing all of your buddies did they start creating content as well? Or
so
like, why did you start making content?
My buddy, 2 of my friends, Harry and Brandon, they
shout out to Harry and Brandon, just in case they listen to this.
Yeah. They started like a Call of Duty. We all started like a Call of Duty clan. Oh man, here we go. This is the start of the origin story. I'm just gonna dive into it. Stop me at any point if I'm rambling. But so they both got Elgatos, right? Like the big blocky one that looks like a giant brick. And they started making YouTube videos. They would do like post commentaries, or like they would make montages. And I couldn't afford an Elgato at that point. I mean, I think they both got it as Christmas gifts. I didn't get that as Christmas gifts. I probably got socks or something like that. But I was happy to be a part of it. And we had this Call of Duty team. We would all I think we changed our gamer tags and stuff, or I was about to change my gamer tag. They all had it the same, and it was really, really dope. But then at like one point, they're like, yo, Dwolf, we love you, but can't really create content yet. And I was like, damn, okay. So they made me leave our Call of Duty clan. So that was pretty unfortunate, but we still all played together. I just couldn't be on the team.
God, first lesson early on in your career, you got the door closed on you.
Oh yeah, but it's okay though. So my gamer tag, oh geez, another Call of Duty team we were on was called Faux, FAUX. So my gamer tag was Faux Desire, because it had to be some weird word that meant way too much for Xbox gamer tag. So I was like, all right, I'm still going to change my gamer tag because my mom let me get Microsoft points or whatever. So I changed it to It's Dwolf because that was my nickname, Derek Wolf, shortened to Dwolf. That was just my name in school. And so had that secured. And so a bunch of my friends actually stopped gaming in like later into high school. And then fast forward to college, and I'm like basically the only friend left kind of gaming. So I'm just doing my thing. And I think when I was at school, I was having a conversation with my roommate, Dan. Shout out to him, one of my best friends in the whole wide world. And we're basically just talking about stuff that we want to do. And I was like, man, I don't really know what I want to do with my life, but like, I really, really vibe with like YouTube videos and like making content, watching content. Cause I've always been a viewer. I've always been a viewer of YouTube videos, of streams, and like, it'd be really, really fun to do it. But like, I never had that motivation to try and do it because before it was like, all right, I couldn't afford an Elgato or something like that or anything to record my gameplay. And he was like, you know what? Why don't you just do it? And so at this point, I had been working a little bit whenever I was home from break or during the summer. And I had a little bit of cash saved up. So I bought a Elgato and I started making like these 2K videos. They were all right. They weren't getting a lot of views, but they were all right. And I really, really enjoyed doing it. And then I just like really fell in love with the whole process. Like it's definitely not easy. And I'd say that probably the hardest thing was starting for me just because I like wanted to do it, but I didn't have the motivation. But my parents were like, I don't know about that. You should just go to school, do your thing. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do what my parents say. But like, I just ate it up, man. It was like, I wasn't even monetized. I'm still not monetized on my YouTube channel. It was just pure fun and enjoyment and just like waking up, going to my classes, coming home to the dorm, recording a YouTube video, editing the YouTube video, uploading it, watching it get some views, a few thumbs up, sharing it to Twitter. And it was just like that whole process just made me fall in love with it. It was so good back then. It was so good.
That is really cool to hear. I love the sheer passion you had in lighting up with it. And even that clearly like, back then you were like, I love doing this. I don't know what I want to do, but I love this.
Yeah, it was definitely a hobby at that time. It was so different back then.
When you were doing it in school, you're meant to be in school, right? You're gotta learn stuff.
Actually, not in school now though. Not in school now though. But that's a later part of the story.
I look forward to getting that. But when you were in there, like, were you even present in school? Like, were you a good student, or were you like, no, okay. I'm gonna go to the bare minimum here. I need to make my parents happy, and I'm making like, how many videos were you making a week at this point?
Okay, so at this point with school, this was still fall semester of 2017, and I was very much involved in school. Like, it wasn't like all right, I got to go to class or something like that. I was very accepting of it. At that point, it's like, this is going to help me get to my next thing so I can get a job, do whatever I got to do. But whenever I had the opportunity, I would it was weird. Like, there was some like days where I would just wake up and I would feel super, super motivated and punch out like a couple videos every like couple, like I think the best I was able to do at one point was like 5 videos in a week. And then there was some times where I would double upload for no reason, just because I felt like it. And then there was like times where I would go like 2 weeks and not even attempt to record or anything like that. So it was very, very sporadic at that point, just because of like class, friends, like certain like midterms and stuff like that. So it was very, very random.
So was there a game plan where you're like, I need to create consistent content, or was like, I feel super creative today, I'm just going to get this up because I want to get it out of my head and out of my system?
So when I had started, I didn't really have much guidance, and there was no sort of like game plan for me. It was just like, all right, I have the opportunity to do it, I'm going to do it. But I think whenever I met Good Game Bro, that was when like everything started to make sense, and I was able to get a little bit of insight in the whole world of content creation. But yeah, Good Game Bro.
That's a great segue. Like, when did that happen?
So one of my buddies that I met through the Madden Ultimate Team Twitter, Madden, like Madden football. I met him in like 2016. We played video games a bunch here and there. He was or still is a EA game changer. And I think he went down to Florida at one point or another. And Good Game Bro is also a EA game changer. So they had the opportunity to meet, talk, whatever down there. And the one day Good Game Bro had tweeted, looking for some people to play Fortnite with. Just picked it up, you know, because this was like really, really early in Fortnite's like lifetime. And of course, me and my buddies, we had been playing it, or my online buddies had been playing it. And we're like, ooh, maybe we could hit up GGB if he wants to play. So my buddy who knew him, I met him in Orlando or whatever, hit him up. It was like, yo, we got 3. Here's my gamer tag. So because he knew him, GGB picked us up. We started playing, and it was just like completely casual. Like it was just us just playing on Xbox. Nobody was streaming, nobody was recording, nothing like that. And I think one day my friend was like, yo, by the way, Dwolf has a YouTube channel. And at this point, I think GGB was at like, I think he was at like 110,000 subscribers or something like that on YouTube. And I'm like super, super shy about that stuff. I don't want to be clout chasing. I don't want to be doing none of that stuff. I just want him to think like I'm an okay above average Fortnite player. And he's like, okay, really? And I was like, yeah. And then my friend sent him my link and everything to my YouTube channel. And he's like, all right. And then we played Fortnite here and there a few more times off stream, just no recording, just having a good time. And then he's like, yo, would you want to play with me on stream? And this is like February of 2018. And I was like, yo, that'd be lit. And he's like, all right, just make sure you're PG and everything. And I was like, all right.
So just because you're not streaming. This is just to play live with him when he's streaming.
Yeah, I still have no way to stream at this point. Like,
and what are you on YouTube? What's your like follower at YouTube at this point? Do you remember?
I've barely uploaded there. It's embarrassing, but I think I'm at like 1,000 subs now.
So, but even then, at that point, at
that point, I think. This is February. I think I'm at like 40 subscribers. It took me from November 2017 till April 2018 to get 100 subs on YouTube. It took me a long, long time to get 100 subs on there. But I was so ready for the ride. And I feel like a lot of people get discouraged, like if they don't instantly get like those followers, those engagements and stuff like that. And I feel like a lot of people just don't hear about it. Because I mean, at that point, I got 100 subscribers to make YouTube videos for. The only people that know my story up until that point are those people. So I hope no one ever gets discouraged based on like followers and stuff like that, because you never know what could happen in 6 months time or something like that.
So that moment happened. You go live with him.
Oh no, I wasn't even streaming at this point. I wasn't even streaming.
You're not live with him, but he's live and you're playing at the same time.
Yeah, it basically became like a TV show of GGB and It's Dwolf, but GGB was the only one streaming, because at this point I had my Xbox, my Elgato, and my MacBook, and that's basically what I used to make YouTube videos and all that stuff. And I had no idea how to stream. All I knew is that OBS did not work well with Mac and game capture and all that stuff, but I wasn't as educated on technology to be able to like reverse engineer it, make it think it's Windows or something like that. But yeah, so I think I've been playing on his stream with him like here and there. I think it was on like Thursdays and Saturdays or something like that. We would play in like the evening. And I think I had finally started. That was when I started streaming. Like at some point in May, I had tried just streaming randomly on Twitch because I was able to do it through my Xbox. And I did that like maybe like 4 or 5 times over the 2-month span. It was like, it was really weird to me. I didn't really know how to do anything on stream, because I was just like, like when you do a YouTube video, you're like, yo, what's up guys? It's your boy Dwolf and I'm here with 110% energy. And it's like on stream, you're like, if you do that, you're going to be running out of things to say.
Yep.
So it was a weird like first 2 months of learning, but then I had been only streaming by myself at this point. And the one time GGB was like, yo, try streaming with me tonight and see how it goes. I was like, all right, bet. And he goes, where are you going to stream though? And I'm like, oh, I think I'm going to stream on Twitch. I'll just do it through my Xbox. And he's like, yo, I'm going to keep it real with you. I think you should 100% try and figure out a way to stream on Facebook. I was like, I don't know about that. And then he was like, I'm telling you, Dwolf. And I'm extremely against the idea, because anything like that involves technology that I don't know how to do, I'm not like 100% up for. But he was like, I'll never forget the conversation that we had on like Twitter or whatever. But I'm like in class messaging him, and he's like, dude, I'm telling you, you have to do it. And he was super straightforward with me, super straightforward. And eventually he convinced me. So I think I spent about 4 hours after class trying to figure out how to stream from my MacBook to Facebook. And I think I spent like 2 hours just looking up stuff online from like YouTube tutorials and stuff. But I eventually found like you could stream through the actual like game capture software, not like OBS or anything, but the actual Elgato software. And so I eventually figured it out, and I was like super hyped to do it. And then later that night, I think it was like, this is when GGB used to go live at 8. Now he goes live at like 10, but he went live at 10 or 8. And I was like super overwhelmed. It was so crazy because up until this point, I think the max amount of viewers I had was like 5. And I think the one day GGB had tweeted me out, so I was at like 10 or something like that. So it was really, really dope at that point. But I was super overwhelmed. And GGB was like sending people over to my stream and all that stuff. And I think the max it was at was like 250 people. And it's like, people don't realize like 250 people, that's like 500 eyeballs on you. And imagine trying to put like 250 people in a room after being used to like 5 people in a room. And it was just such a crazy feeling. And I think if I hadn't had the opportunity to like learn like the absolute basics with GGB, I don't know how long it would have taken me to get to this point. But like after like the first couple times of streaming with GGB and him showing me the ropes, I was figuring it out really easily. And it was so weird. It was so weird.
That's like, I'm like loving your story. I'm so engrossed. It's just that whole process, because you're absolutely right. You know, going from 5 to 250, and you barely just got it working. You know, like you're just getting it set up.
Oh yeah, and I was streaming in 480p because I didn't know how to change any of the bitrate or anything. I just had to get picture onto the actual onto the stream. It was so rough though. It was so rough.
That's hilarious. And so you started streaming, but you're at school. So you had this moment where GGB's could have taken you, and I've met Doug by the way many times. He's a great guy. Could have taken you under his wing. Yeah. And you're still playing it, so this starts happening more frequently. So I guess you got like the high at that point, like you'd done that live with him. You were like, oh my god, this is nuts. Yeah.
It was just like the taste of like streaming potential was something that I like really, really wanted at that point. Like I had gotten like a couple YouTube videos to get like maybe like 1,000 views. Like I had some videos that got like 1,000, like my 2K videos. And then I uploaded a Fortnite video, got 10 views. And like that 1,000 views was the exact same feeling of getting like 250 live viewers at that time. And yeah.
So you did that. So then did you start switching, going, okay, I'm going to make live content now on Facebook? Like, because you're still at school, you don't have a lot of time, right? And you're trying to make videos on YouTube. How did you switch this up?
Okay, so if I can remember back, May 3rd, I had my first stream on Facebook. I had finals week, I think the second week of May. I don't know why. I'm remembering May 16th. That was probably the middle of the week or something. But I basically streamed like once or twice before finals week. And then during finals week, I'm not doing anything at all, just trying to prep for that stuff. But YouTube was really, really weird at this point. I think I had gotten discouraged, honestly. Like I think at this point with college, I was kind of like, man, I don't really know how I feel about all this. Like I'm not really like super into classes at that point. Like I just kind of like was against the idea of college. And I think I got that like halfway through my second semester. I got super, super lazy, super, super discouraged. And I just like wasn't 100% there during my classes. And I think my YouTube Like uploads got really, really sporadic. There was probably like one video every couple weeks or something like that. And I think the whole idea of streaming and Doug getting me into that was something that kind of like sparked that interest in me again. But yeah, it was a really weird like couple months near the end of my second semester. I was in
So how did
college.
you make the decision that you were gonna leave and stream?
So I think it was just Doug, honestly. I had obviously at this point Fortnite is kind of popping. I think it was when it was like really picking up, like TSM Myth, Ninja, all those guys are like building up in popularity and all that stuff. Um, and I think it was honestly just Doug asking me to play on his stream here and there, from like February to like April. During that time, it was just like, you know what? It's kind of fun. I have a really good time. And imagine if like I had my own chat. But yeah, it was weird. It was definitely weird to say the least. Yeah.
So are you full time now?
Yeah. So I've been full time since August of 2019, 2018, 2018. Yeah. August of 2018. I've been full time since then.
And has your parents been supportive of that?
Ooh, okay. So I had just gotten out of my freshman year of college and I was home and my dad he owns like apartments and stuff like that and a bunch of them needed to be like repainted and everything. So in the mornings every day during the week I would help him from like 9 to 12, help repaint certain buildings. Sometimes I got to move trash out of certain apartments if someone like left the place randomly. But basically I was doing that and I had started streaming. Oh, wait, no. Yeah. So I had basically told my parents that I didn't want to go back to school and that I needed to do something else. Like I didn't want to go to school. I wasn't interested in it. And at that point, they were very understanding of that just because like school's pretty expensive. And if you're not 100% into something at this point, like maybe it's okay to test the waters and some other things. And so home from school, I'm working with my dad in the morning. And then my parents are kind of like, all right, you need to get a job. And I'm like, all right. So I applied a few places, but while this is all going on, I'm streaming in the afternoon and evening. I think it was again, a freaking good game, bro. Um, he basically told me, like, yo, if you want to be able to do this, like, you got to make a schedule. And at this point, I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to full send it and I'm going to dive into streaming. So while I'm telling my parents I'm applying for a job and everything, please don't tell them. um, I'm like trying my hardest to make sure that streaming works over everything else. So I was streaming from 2 to 6 and 8 to 12 every single day during the week. And then on the weekends, I think I was starting at like 10 o'clock in the morning, but streaming 8 hours then too. So um, during this time, I wasn't making any money on Facebook because there was no like monetization at this time. And I was still so new to everything. I didn't really understand anything at that point. I just knew like if I streamed enough, at some point, something will click, right? And I think I had eventually set up Streamlabs. I ended up getting stars in July of that summer. And like that first like 2 months of monetization with Facebook was crazy. Like it was so weird because I had worked like I worked a part-time job at a beer distributor and I was just working with my dad in the morning, but I wasn't getting paid for that. And it was so crazy that like I think my parents kind of understood it that way because they didn't really get the streaming. They still I don't think my dad gets it still, like I'd said, but the fact that I was able to make money off of it, they definitely understood it. I mean, my dad's a businessman. He understands, that kind of stuff. But um oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought. What was it?
So you were just talking about that switch to going full time and how that
Oh yeah,
happened.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so I was streaming, like I said, every day, same time. I think it was like 50 hours a week or something like that. And I got to the end of August and I was still working with my dad at this point, but I started to feel like more tired every day just because like 12 hours of doing something every single day without any sort of break was kind of straining on me. So I was like, Dad, I love you. And I think going full time for streaming is going to help me more than anything. And it was like a ongoing argument for like a 2 week span of like, all right, I'm going to stop working at this point. But he needed help with like apartments and stuff like that. But eventually he was like, all right, fine, do it. And so I was able to stream all the time and not have much other distractions. And this was, like I said, the end of August. I wasn't going back to school. All my friends had went back to school, and it was just me streaming every single day, just working my ass off. And like, it was enough at that point to like impress them and be like, all right, fine, you can do this, because at this point, like, I don't like talking about it, but the money that I was able to make as a 20-year-old in just a couple months was like, I think it was like triple what I had made in like 6 months working at a beer distributor part-time. Like, it was stupid, and they're like, all right, no brainer. Like, we'll let you do this. So I was able to go full time from that. And I'm extremely, extremely fortunate to have been able to had any sort of opportunity like that. Like, I imagine there's a lot more parents out there that would have told me to go back to college or get an actual job or a like legitimate job or whatever. But I was lucky enough that my parents were able to work with me and let me be able to do it.
That's super cool. Yeah, I think it's a challenge, especially when you're younger, is getting that support. And thankfully, there's more and more conversation, and there's less like stigma starting to come around it. But it's still a challenge.
I remember the one time I came home for Thanksgiving break in 2017, and I was just chilling, and I was in my living room, and I was editing a YouTube video, and my dad was like, "Yo, what are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, editing a YouTube video." He's like, "Of what?" I was like, "Oh, me playing Fortnite." He's like, "Why?" I'm like, "Because it's what I want to do." And he's like, "Oh, well, that's kind of dumb." And I was like, "Damn, bro." Gets it now. He's well past that, but like,
do you ever reflect on it with him? Do you ever go back and say,
dude,
"Dad, you remember like you didn't believe in this, and I showed you"? Like, I think that's like a great kind of camaraderie.
I honestly, like, if I hadn't heard something like that, if I never like every streamer at some point or another, or content creator at some point or another, hears someone that says they can't do it. And if that doesn't fuel your motivation, nothing else will. Like, I love being able to do stuff that people tell me I can't do, because then when you do it, you're like, "Hey, look at me, I'm doing it." They're a little bit quieter at that point. But no, I mean, my dad he's 100% accepting of it now. And it was definitely a very interesting like year and a half transitioning from dropping out of college basically to going on a complete, what was it, on a whim? What's the saying? Like you're jumping, I don't know, jumping into water or something.
Off a cliff? Jumping off a cliff,
basically jumping off a cliff, and taking a chance with something like this when there's going to be other guaranteed opportunities out there. But this was the one I was just dead set on, because I knew I wanted to do it, and I was like very, very determined to do it.
I love it. I think your story will resonate with a lot of listeners who are, just a little bit earlier, but not that far from where you are today. Your story evolved really, really quickly, which I think is really cool. What's your goals for 2020? I mean, you've had such an incredible 1 to 2 years now on Facebook. Like, what are you planning for in 2020?
So, basically everything that I do this year, I want to be better than last year. Last year I had been full-time the entire year. However, it wasn't the same. Like, the best way to explain it is like, when you first start, there's that thrill, right? You're on the come up or whatever. You're building your audience. You're still growing a lot, and everything is new to you at that point. Streaming certain games like Fortnite, for example, like Fortnite. Oh shit! What am I trying to say? Fuck.
So you're saying like everything new on the come up was it was all new at that point. In the last year, you said you're full time. It was like, what was it like?
So after everything was done being new and it was normal, right? It kind of lost that feeling I had super early on, because I remember like working my ass off super, super hard when I knew for a fact a YouTube video wasn't going to make a cent, but that whole feeling of like, maybe someday I'll be able to. It's kind of like the grass isn't always greener on the other side type deal. And I got to the other side of the fence last year and I was just like, now what? I basically was like, I don't really have anything new to look forward to. And so that kind of led me to try like competitive Fortnite. I mean, I was all right at Fortnite, but I wasn't a pro player at all. It took me a minute to realize that. But I just kind of like lost touch with it. Like I had been streaming so much my first couple months, and like an entire year, it just felt off. Like it felt foggy outside. It wasn't, nothing was like clicking like it used to. And I was honestly discouraged a bunch. Like I thought I was like falling off or something like that, or my content was not as good as it used to be or something like that. But I just kind of had to change things, like I had played Fortnite basically all of last year. At the end of the year, I was like, all right, I need to stop playing this game. I need something new. I need something refreshing. I'm closing the first chapter of my story and I'm starting up something new in 2020. So basically this year, I just want to improve on everything. I want to be more consistent because I was completely inconsistent all of last year. There was times where my schedule was completely nocturnal. I would wake up at like 6 p.m., stream till 7 a.m. There was times I would wake up super early in the morning and go to bed at like 7 p.m. Like it was so random and inconsistent. And it just led to so many other problems building up. It was like a snowball effect of random BS. And this year, like, I want to be a good streamer. I want to have fun. I want to get back to playing games with my friends that I enjoy. I don't want to feel like I'm forcing myself to play a game, which I felt with Fortnite. I just want to get back to streaming every day at the same time with my friends, having a good time and doing some really cool stuff this year. Like, I had done one charity stream last year. And it was really, really dope. It was, I think it was for Stack Up, but like, it didn't feel right to me for like whatever reason. Like, I don't know. Like there's so many things that I want to do this year and improve upon and just learn about. Like, I'm still definitely a rookie in content creation and I have a lot to learn. And I feel like hopefully this year I learn a lot, but basically just staying consistent and having fun. Cause I never want to feel that discouraged feeling again. Like I can remember just sitting slouched in this chair, staring at my monitor, like, oh geez, I got to play Fortnite today. Or, oh geez, I don't want to play this game today. So
every single content creator goes through that feeling.
Yeah.
And several times it doesn't just happen. It's not like it happens once and then you get over it and then learn. It's a thing that constantly happens, these peaks and troughs.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's really weird, like not being like 100%. Like you're not 100% there. It feels like I part of me felt like I was just watching from the sidelines, like watching myself stream something that wasn't 100% me. Like I wasn't 100% into it.
Well, I am for one super excited to watch you in 2020. I think the 6 a.m. starts and getting in that mentality is definitely gonna help a lot. Just your life's your responsibility, and if you'd much rather be doing this than anything else.
Yeah.
And I think I'm super excited to watch you in 2020, Dwolf. Where can everyone find you if they want to find you online? Where can they find you?
So on Facebook and YouTube.com/it's Dwolf, Twitter and Instagram, it's _Dwolf. It's _Dwolf. And then streams every single day at Facebook, random uploads on YouTube, an occasional Instagram clip here and there. And
Sweet. 2020, the year of consistency.
The rebuild. Hell yeah.
I love it, Dwolf. Cool, man. It was great to have you on the show. I look forward to getting this hands of the community. Have an absolutely awesome year. I know you're going to crush it. The head's down. Love it.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.